As of August 1st, we are actually at the halfway point of summer. For me, it has been a magical mix of healing eyes and, for a few weeks away, of truly having a personal pilgrimage to touchstones of my soul. Again, thanks for all of your prayers and concerns regarding my health. I felt and feel it and am truly grateful. Briefly, my pilgrimage started with a week in Homewood and Chicago, Illinois, and 2 solid weeks in Oakland, Berkeley, and San Francisco, and just a little bit of time in Morristown, New Jersey. Throughout my travels, I journaled a lot. I read books, poetry, did a bit of art, rowed a boat on Lake Michigan, and was shin deep in the Pacific Ocean. Yes, I gleefully walked into the Crissy Field Beach in San Francisco with a dear beloved friend, and it's moderately cold that got more cold with each passing minute. And I ate some good and some not so good food. As my trip was winding down, the word pilgrimage came to mind as I was able to spend quality time with treasured loved ones, to see the Summer of Soul in the cinema 4 different times. I got to pay homage to the final resting place of my beloved mentor, Ibrahim Ferjage, with a beloved mentor and UU minister colleague, the Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt. I saw other UU BIPOC colleagues and other religious colleagues for time submerged in joy. And I sang as freely as my soul knows how to. And as for many of you may know, a minister is never not a minister, even on pilgrimage. That is, I was humbled and deeply challenged to witness the impacts of the pandemic from coast to coast. I got to read about and be ever so close to the climate devastation taking place in California with its raging forest fires. Smoke, ash fill the air that many are breathing. I was left with my jaws on the floor with seeing current photographs of the 2nd largest river in California that is used to water crops that go worldwide be bone dry. It felt apocalyptic. My soul was also aching with the realities and the impacts of the pandemic that it's having on many communities, which often go invisible if we are not intentional about including these human beings in our realities and the everyday of our lives. In San Francisco and Oakland, and even here in New York City, right around our beloved congregation, the state of affairs for those who are underhoused and without homes is much too much. It was deeply painful to witness the permanent feel of some of the homeless encampments that peppered People's Park in Berkeley and all around Oakland. And yes, here in New York City, how those who are underhoused and homeless are being again pushed to the margins as things in these pandemic doldrums continue to flow as they are now and will continue to flow for the unforeseen future. Can we truly be our siblings' keeper in these critical times? Not only with food, not only with money, but can we be true siblings advocating for justice in the struggle with our siblings who live on the streets? Do we truly believe, our principles when lived here and in our everyday lives can expand more easy living for more peoples and our planet Do we believe that we can? The eighth principle, unapologetically, even though we haven't voted on it, it reads, we, the member congregations of the Unitarian Universalist Association, covenant to affirm and promote journeying towards spiritual wholeness by working to build a diverse, multicultural, beloved community, by our actions that accountably dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves. We all have it in ourselves and in our institutions. How in your own personal lives, in the lives of us here at Community Church, or wherever we may be, how might we better embody these prophetic words in community to show our faithfulness to what it means to be a Unitarian Universalist to ourselves and out in this amazing, even as it ache words, how? Another very powerful song from Porgy and Bess that I feel is a great metaphor for the potential impact of adopting and living firmly into the aspirations of the eighth principle are the lyrics of how we might begin or continue to embody what it means to build and be the beloved community here on earth. Amen. Listen closely, please, to these lyrics from Porgy and Bess. It take a long pull to get there. Lyrics. Oh, I'm a-going out to Blackfish Banks. No matter what the weather says, and when I say I'm going, I mean going, and I'm leaving at the break of day. It takes a long pull to get there. It takes a long pull to get there. It takes a long pull to get there, but I'll anchor in the promised land, in the promised land. And Lordy, if I meet Mr. Hurricane and Hurricane tell me no, I'll take old Hurricane by the pants and I'll throw him in the jailhouse door. It takes a long pull to get there. It takes a long pull to get there. It takes a long pull to get there. I'll anchor in the promised land. I got blister on my sitting down parts. I got a blister on my hand, but I'm gonna row this little boat, trust me, God, till I anchor in the promised land. Come on, sing it with me, y'all. It takes a long pull to get there. It takes a long pull to get there. It takes a long pull to get there. I'll anchor in the promised land, in the promised land. In the film, we see the men going out to fish, the livelihood for many in the community. They prepare to head out even knowing that a hurricane is coming. They speak of it taking a long pull to get to the promised land. Even if they do meet the hurricane, they're going to pull it by its pants and throw it in the jailhouse with blisters in their seating parts and hands. It will take a long pull to get there. What if we see the hurricane of our time being this pandemic, climate destruction, racism, sexism, ableism, educational elitism, and heteronormativity? Might we view the long pull being the moral, religious, or spiritual work needed to transform much of what ails our societies today? What if we continue the needed work of building a new way? And if the promised land is right here on earth, how might this add to, enhance, expand more easy living for more peoples? And what if the eighth principle anchors the core of every aspect of congregational life and communal life? Do we believe we can transform our lives and the lives of many others through such needed sacred work? If we do believe these things are possible, even with the unfolding doldrums of this pandemic and all else that ails our world, what might it mean for us to spend time in reflection, documenting for ourselves with what is left of summer? What are we, willing to do in the coming church year to better embody the eighth principle in words and in deeds? Friends, I pray we are working to build a new way. Amen. Blessed be, Ashe, and a rousing amen.